You've worked 30 years for this moment. You've contributed. You've sacrificed. You've watched that 401k number climb slowly, painfully, one paycheck at a time. And right now, in this exact window, you are about to make the most important financial decisions of your entire life. Most people get them completely wrong, not because they're careless, because nobody told them what this window actually is or what's waiting on the other side if they blow it. Drop 12 months in the comments if your retirement date is closer than it's ever been. You're exactly who this video is for. I'm the wolf. I don't sell comfort. I sell clarity. And if you're new here, subscribe, because what I'm about to show you is the kind of math your financial advisor glosses over in a 20-minute annual review. The wolf goes deeper. Every single video now. Let me introduce you to Sandra Mitchell. Sandra is 63 years old, lives in Columbus, Ohio, makes $68,000 a year. She's been working since she was 22. 41 years of alarm clocks, commutes, performance reviews, and watching other people take credit for her work. She has $340,000 in her 401k. She has a retirement date circled on her calendar, exactly 12 months from now. Sandra is proud of that number. She should be. The median retirement savings for Americans her age is under $200,000. Sandra is ahead. Sandra also has 80% of her portfolio in equities, stocks, growth funds, the same allocation she's had for the last decade because it worked. And because nobody told her to change it. That allocation is a loaded gun pointed at her retirement. Here's why. There's a concept called sequence of returns risk. It sounds academic. Look, it is not academic. It is the single most dangerous financial phenomenon facing anyone within 5 years of retirement. And the vast majority of people heading into retirement have never heard of it. Here's how it works. It doesn't matter how well your portfolio performed over 30 years. If the market drops 30% in the 12 months after you retire and you're forced to sell assets to cover living expenses. Let me show you the math Sandra doesn't know. Sandra retires in January. Her portfolio is worth $340,000. The market drops 30%, the same drop we saw in 2008, the same drop we saw in early 2020. Her portfolio is now worth $238,000. Sandra still needs to eat. She still needs to pay rent. She starts pulling $2,800 a month from a portfolio that just lost a third of its value. She's not just spending down a smaller balance, but she's selling shares at the worst possible price. Shares that will never compound for her again. Shares she spent 30 years accumulating, almost gone in a down market at retirement's doorstep. At that withdrawal rate, from that depleted base, Sandra's money runs out at 79, not 85, not 90, 79. Meanwhile, Sandra, who built the cash buffer 12 months before retirement, she doesn't touch her investment portfolio when the market drops. She pulls from her buffer. Her portfolio recovers. She's still solvent at 91, same woman, same salary, same retirement date, $180,000 difference in lifetime retirement wealth. The only variable was what she did with her last 12 salaries. Here's what makes this window so different from every other year of your financial life. Before retirement, a market crash is uncomfortable but survivable. Your portfolio drops, but you're still contributing. You're buying shares at lower prices. The recovery works in your favor. After retirement, a market crash is a completely different animal. You're not buying, you're selling, you're extracting. Every dollar you pull from a depressed portfolio is a dollar that never recovers. The Employee Benefit Research Institute found that 46% of Americans retiring in the next 5 years have no structured withdrawal plan. None. They have a balance, they have a date, they have no architecture for how to actually turn that balance into income without destroying it. That's not a retirement plan, that's a countdown to a crisis. The 5 years before and 5 years after your retirement date, what financial planners call the retirement danger zone, are the most financially fragile years of your life. You're more fragile than your 30s when you were broke, more fragile than your 40s when you were stretched thin. Because now the stakes are total. There is no recovery timeline. There is no next paycheck to fix it. This is why the wolf moves differently in this window. Here's the protocol. 3 phases, 12 months starting now. Phase 1, months 1 through 4. Build the shield. The first thing the wolf does with those early paychecks is build a cash buffer. 2 full years of living expenses sitting in a high-yield savings account, not invested, not in the market, liquid, accessible, boring on purpose. For Sandra, 2 years of expenses at her current lifestyle is roughly $67,000. That goes into an HYSA currently yielding between 4.5% and 5.1%. Not losing ground to inflation, not exposed to market risk, you're earning real yield while she finishes her last year of work. This buffer is the single most important financial structure she will ever build. It's the reason she never has to sell a single stock in a down market during the first 2 years of retirement. It is her oxygen mask. Without it, one bad market year at the wrong moment ends everything she built. With it, a 2008-style crash is an inconvenience, not a catastrophe. Phase 2. Months 5 through 8. Reposition the arsenal. Sandra's 80% equity allocation made sense at 45. It does not make sense at 63. The rule isn't to flee the market. The wolf never flees. The rule is to rebalance deliberately, using the bucket system that Vanguard's own research validates as one of the most effective retirement income structures available. Bucket 1, the cash buffer Sandra already built. On 2 years of expenses, done. Bucket 2, 3 to 7 years of expenses in conservative income-generating assets. Short-term bond funds, dividend ETFs, Treasury I-bonds, low volatility, steady yield. This is the bridge that funds years 3 through 7 of retirement without touching equity. Bucket 3. Everything else stays in diversified equity index funds. Long-term growth, untouched for at least 7 years. Let it compound, let it recover from any downturn. Let time do what time does. This structure means Sandra never has to sell a stock at the wrong time, ever. The cash pays for this year, the bonds pay for the next few years. The stocks grow in the background for a decade before she needs them. That's not luck. That's architecture. Phase 3, months 9 through 12. Sequence the income. This is where the wolf makes the government pay for the privilege of taxing you by controlling when and how each income source turns on. Sandra has 3 potential income streams: her 401k, Social Security, and her new cash buffer. The sequence she activates them in determines how much she pays in taxes for the rest of her life. Here's what most people do. They retire. They claim Social Security immediately at 63, and they start pulling from their 401k to cover the gap. This is one of the most expensive retirement mistakes in existence. Social Security grows 8% for every year Sandra delays claiming past her full retirement age. 8%, guaranteed from the federal government. That is a higher guaranteed return than most bond funds. Now, if Sandra delays Social Security to 67, just 4 years, her monthly benefit increases by over 30%. Over a 20-year retirement, that difference is more than $100,000 in additional lifetime income. During those bridge years, she pulls strategically from her 401k, small withdrawals staying inside lower tax brackets, using the Roth conversion ladder if her plan allows it. She pays taxes now at a lower rate, so she never has to pay them at a higher rate later. This isn't complicated, it's just sequencing. It's knowing which bucket to drink from first so the others keep filling. The sheep retires and starts pulling everything at once. The wolf maps the sequence 12 months in advance and extracts maximum income at minimum tax cost. Sandra Mitchell has 12 months, not to wait, not to coast, to build. 12 salaries. each one with a specific job, a specific destination, a specific function in the architecture of the retirement she spent 4 decades earning, the cash buffer, the bucket rebalance, the income sequence, 3 moves, 1 year. The difference between a retirement that lasts and one that doesn't. The math is not complicated. The discipline is. If you're within 5 years of retirement, and this video just changed how you see the next 12 months, drop 12 months in the comments right now, because the people who type it are the ones who act on it, and the ones who act are the ones who make it. If you want the full breakdown of the bucket system, exactly how to build yours based on your specific balance and retirement date, that video is next. Subscribe so you don't miss it. The sheep waits for retirement to figure it out. The wolf builds the system before the bell rings. See you in the next one.